Hello everyone, and welcome back. I was at a gun show here a short time ago, and saw a little time capsule, and I love finding these little time capsules. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there on the takedown and the history and just about everything you wanted to know on as we in the United States say Makarov, and I was always taught to pronounce it with accent on the second syllable, Makarov. And this one popped out at me. I've been kind of holding off buying on one of these because the prices have been jumping up a little bit on them. You can't, just like the Moisen Nagant, you can't buy them at reasonable prices really like they were, compared to what they were anyway. And the Russian Makarovs have gone up substantially compared to others. They're starting to nip at the $600 price range, depending on the model you get. There's a couple of different models and a couple of sub-models, as I'll talk about in just a second. There's a lot of Bulgarian ones coming into the country right now, and they're hovering just under $400. And if you have to order one, they're probably in that $400 or plus dollar range by the time you get shipping and an FFL fee in, because they're not curio and relics. If you have a CNR, you probably can't buy them via that means anyway, so it's still going to cost you a bit. But I wanted to get a Russian one because I have a Tokarev, and my first SKS was non-Russian, was a Chinese one, the Norenko, but I eventually got a Russian one. The same with the Tokarevs. I ended up selling all of those except for now I have a Chinese version of that. But irregardless, I wanted to start out with a Russian one on these, and I happened to, like I said, this little time capsule, brand new, unfired, and this is a commercial grade. That's why it's brand new out of the box, and spotless. Of course, these came into the United States back in the 90s, and when they were being imported. And then, of course, that's about when the importation stopped. So they were only imported for just a few years as they were made. There you can see it's got a rather large import mark on it, but KBI has always done large import marks like that. They need to learn how to tone those down a bit. But then they printed the serial number right over the top of the existing serial number, and nipped on the couple of the Russian markings on the gun. All this is Russian markings here. The original serial number, made in Russia by IMEZ, which is the Izhevsk factory. Even though the box says Baikal on it, the gun was not a Baikal gun. It's an Izhevsk gun. The later ones were Baikal guns. And this one, being a commercial version, has the adjustable rear sights on it. It's still not the greatest sight pictures you can see. This gun has been safety checked, by the way. It is empty. I'll show, just to make you feel better. Hammer drop safety, just like the military versions. In other words, it's pretty much like the military versions. The later commercial versions had a simpler slide release, just a little bent tab. This one still has the military style, and a few other little differences were simplified on them. The finish is perhaps not quite as good as a military gun, or the German versions also are very, very top notch. But nonetheless, these things are a surplus owner's kind of a dream gun, the way they run. So tough. If you go to the Military Arms channel and search his testing of one of these little beauties, he took an absolutely ugly one from the beginning, ran it over with a Jeep, dropped it in sand, mud puddles, and it never ceased firing. I believe he had maybe one misfire when it finally filled with sand behind the hammer. but he quickly was able to fix that, and then it disassembled itself when he actually fired it underwater. and that was just through water concussion, probably causing it to disassemble. He reassembled it, and it fired fine. After that, continued to fire fine. So this is just a pristine example I thought I would show you as kind of a time capsule of a brand new version, what you might see from the box. And in the box, of course, we have the box here, and inside of it, I'll show you the markings on it too. It's kind of fun. Double action semi-automatic. Now this is 9x18, it's not a 380. The 9x18 of course falls right in between the 380 and the 9mm. Probably leans closer to the 380 side in power. But inside the box is a holster. And it's difficult to date these firearms. There's a little still in the bag, a cleaning rod, and a little assembly or takedown toolkit, screwdrivers and tools and whatnot on it. And a cute little cleaning rod which fits in the holster. Holster has the locations for that, and then inside this leather or leatherette holster, it does have a date, 1993. And that's approximately when I suppose the pistol would have been built and imported. And also a lanyard was hiding inside there too. Also came with 2 magazines. The magazines are the non-humped time. There's 2 types of magazines. I have 4 total. The non-humped and the humped kind. Let me grab them real quick here. Well, the humped ones are not handy, but here's the non-humped one, and what I'm meaning by that is the cutout goes all the way down, and what that does is it makes it kind of difficult to load into a magazine or to a holster or magazine carrier, because of the slide lock is right there on your magazine. You see it moves up and down, and when that's in the down position, if you have a little hump over this, it encloses it so it doesn't snag quite as much on your holster, and it's a little easier to drag in and out. And they fit just the same, they work just the same. I'm not sure which came from Russia. I would suspect these are the Russian ones, particularly since these are brand new unused magazines, except for the factory firing. This one has the factory fire marks on it, the other one does not. And so I would suspect that these are the Russian style. I don't know, maybe both, but my other ones, I can't tell you the country of origin on them either, with that little enclosure over that when it's in the fully loaded position. So, but anyway, I thought this would be kind of fun to take a look at and see what you get as if you were buying one brand new today, which of course are not available anymore because the United States does not do the Russian imports anymore. No more Mosins, no more Russian guns, no more Nagant revolvers, no more Tokarevs or Makarovs or of any of the type. This had a little bit of cosmoline, light layer in it. Just was a quick disassembly and wiped down with hoppies to get that out. And I'll kind of shut up and just let you see what a brand new, straight out of the box from Russia, Makarov looks like. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.